but meh. I'm not really that invested. I just think it's kind of a cool cultural moment. So today, being Saturday, I have fun plans. I'm going to a place called McKernan, which is like a textile knitting mill sort of place. They do tours. They like show you what they do, how they do it, whatever. And I'm going with Brendan, who is one of the guys, well, the only guy, but one of the people from a couple of the knitting clubs I've been to in Limerick. He's driving, which is great because there's no way for me to get there without somebody driving. And he offered last Sunday. He was like, "Hey, you want to go? I didn't know it was a thing. You figured it out. Let's do it." So I was like, "Okay, let's do it." And then after that, I don't know how long that'll take. It'll probably be till dinner time. I have no idea. It could be an hour, it could be five. But the quarterfinals for rugby are tonight. Ireland is playing South Africa, I think. And here I was thinking that Ireland versus Scotland was going to be a big one, but apparently it's the quarterfinals that are big. So I'm going to find a pub somewhere and go watch it, I guess, even though last time it was kind of a letdown. I don't know. We'll see. I still feel like I ought to watch it because it's supposed to be good, but how many times am I gonna go to a random pub and watch rugby before I have decided it's not for me? So I just got back to my Airbnb after the day out with Brendan, which was a really unexpected day. So we went to McKernan Woolen Mills, which was expected, and very it was a very well run operation, but it was like I did not expect them to have four Stoll machines there. That was great. And their designs were really gorgeous. There was this one like shawl scarf, really, you could wear it however you wanted, that had these bright daisy-esque flowers on it, and it just screamed Mary Quant. And I love her aesthetic. Normally, like I would not be wearing bright orange or bright pink or whatever, but as soon as it has that little bit of Mary Quant, I'm just like, give it to me. I didn't buy it because it was 150 euros, and but I loved it. And the woman there was very, very lovely. She was explaining like how their whole operation works, and Brendan had questions about certain textile aspects, and then I was asking about because this flower pattern was clearly a bird's eye jacquard, and I was like, I know exactly how you make that on a Shimaseki machine, right? Like it's a simple jacquard program. And I was like, how do you do that on the Stoll machines? Because I don't have experience in that software. And she was like, oh, it's very similar. I was like, could I possibly see it? And she showed me the programming, which was very cool. And it is surprisingly similar and different at the same time. The both programs are a very visual programming language, right? And the colors are important. But it seemed like Shimaseki was more like you could engineer things more easily than Stoll. Like it was a steeper learning curve, but once you got there, like you could do more with it. Just from the like 15 minutes she showed me of Stoll, I truly don't actually know. And so we were talking about the different programming and stuff, and she was explaining that, well, she's in the designing phase, like, she's kind of overwhelmed with stuff. And it just sounded very cool. And I like kind of offhandedly, I was like, huh, are you hiring? Because, I had the shoe stuff. And she's like, I'm not opposed. And I was like actually, because like I'm kind of doing knitting in Ireland, like it'd be more of like I'm doing research for my project while also helping this small business kind of thing. It's not even that small. Like it's in a small area, but it's a pretty big business. And then she was like, yeah, but if you wanted to do something more long term, depending on how that week worked out, because I was saying like come January, I'd be in one place for 6 months. I don't know where that place is yet, but I'd want to be working on Shima machines. I might switch over to Stoll Machines. They have 4 Stoll Machines there. It's possible I could be able to work on one of them. So I was like really working that angle a little bit. But I'm also really tired. It's literally, oh my god, it's almost 7 p.m. I don't know how it took 7 hours to do all of that. I don't know if I feel like going to look at rugby. I have to see what time it is and then like how close something would be and maybe go do it. But I'm just kind of like, I would rather just take a nap. It's only the quarterfinals. I know the quarterfinals, according to some Irish people, are supposed to be the most entertaining. And like also if Ireland were to win, God forbid, knock on wood, or sorry, if they were to lose, sorry. That would be the bad side. If they were to lose, then there wouldn't be anything else to watch. But meh, I'm not really that invested. I just think it's kind of a cool cultural moment. So I'm going to a cafe to get work done. I have so much to do. So I'm back in the Airbnb. You can probably hear my computer having a bit of a hissy fit because I asked it to download something. The cafe was fine, but it was really loud, and the internet was worse than it is at the Airbnb, which is kind of shocking. But I really only left because I needed to make a phone call, and it was too loud in there to do that. Like, that's kind of rude, you know? I have to call this woman. So I think I talked about this in my Cork vlog, but I met this woman in a yarn store in Cork, which is 90% of the reason I go to yarn stores. And she sent me this information for another woman who would know people and also was a knitter and like, you know, a contact I should get in touch with. And I believe she's in Waterford. That's what the business card says. But also she might be in Cork. It's unclear. So I emailed her and then I emailed her again. So it's been, you know, a little over a week, no emails. So I'm going to give her a call. I try to avoid this because my SIM card situation, like I don't even really know how to call with it. I know I have 60 minutes, but I think it's going to be a pain to use them. And the 60 minutes is supposed to last me 3 months, so it's got to last me until I go home in December. But this is why I got minutes, is for project-related stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and give her a call. I wrote this whole script. Boom. Libby specifically said like she has an answering machine on her phone, so I'm not necessarily expecting to talk to her directly. So I'm like, can I say everything I need to say in the like minute or whatever in between beeps? We'll see. We'll find out, but that's why I have the script. So I'm going to go ahead and try this phone call situation and go from there. Oh my god. Okay, so it only took like half an hour to figure out how to dial this number. Turns out my SIM card number is Austrian, so to dial an Irish phone number from an Austrian phone number. Interesting. Figured it out. She did actually answer the phone. The script was vaguely helpful. The main problem was I could not hear her. I wasn't even sure it was the right person I was talking to. So most of the call was spent with me asking her to repeat herself. And I was like, the connection was horrible. It was just like 90% static. But she was very nice, and she's like, yes, I would love to meet you, and like that week was great. And then I was like, okay, great, like do you want to email me your address or tell it to me now? And I was like really hoping she would say email so that, you know, the listening situation wouldn't be a problem. No, she gave it to me then. That took like 5 minutes. Eventually, like she gave me the air code, which is like numbers and letters that's basically like each house has, and that I got because, you know, she only had to repeat herself 3 times, and then with that, like Google Maps knows exactly where to go. But I was just like, oh my god, it's so painful, and I feel so bad because like she doesn't know me. She's talked to Libby, the person I met in Cork, and then I'm just like calling her and I'm like, hey, I can't hear you at all, please repeat yourself again and again and again. But cool, I know where I need to be next week, so now I just have to figure out where to live. Woo! God. cold. This Airbnb might have decent Wi-Fi, which is weird, and the privacy to make phone calls, but we're out of toilet paper again, and I'm freezing. I'm wearing my quilt. I don't know. There's nowhere within walking distance that's actually viable for getting work done. So I'd have to use bus money, which I don't really want to. I'll just make some tea and... Oh no, I don't want to make tea because that's consuming liquid, which is a problem due to the other situation. I'll just wear my quilt. So I didn't go to a rugby watch party or anything last night. I was tired and I decided I didn't want to. Plus, somebody got hit on this road 2 nights ago. My host was telling me about it. She was like, you better be careful. Like, don't walk along the road at night. You might get hit and die. It's like, oh, great, thank you. So I don't actually know if Ireland won last night, so I'm going to look it up. My computer's right here. You guys can't see it. There she is. I kind of feel like maybe Ireland didn't win, because I feel like if they did, I would have heard a lot of screaming last night, like happy woohoo screaming, you know? And I did not. Because I live in, like, this current Airbnb is in a neighborhood with, like, a lot of people, a lot of students, and people who I feel like would be rowdy if they won a game like that, you know? Like, sports fans. Woo. So, we're gonna look it up. Ireland rugby match last night. Who won? Yeah, I was right. That's tough. New Zealand won 28-24. Oof. Does that mean Ireland is out? Oh, yeah, because New Zealand beat Ireland in the second quarterfinal, and they progressed to a semifinal against Argentina. That's so sad. Everybody was really excited about it in Ireland. Literally, the last time I went to a Irish rugby thing in the pub that was in Ennis, like right before I got sick, I was at the bar ordering, and this girl like bumped into me and she apologized. I was like, oh, no, you're good. She's like, oh, are you American? You know, she could tell from the accent. And I was like, oh, yeah. She's like, oh, you're visiting? I was like, yeah. She's like, oh, it's a great time to visit. Ireland's gonna win the World Cup. And I was like, yeah. So funny. Like, everyone was so in it. They're so excited. So sad. Well, good for New Zealand. Unfortunate for Ireland.
Or you could count on this side, it's just harder. It's just kind of hard to keep track of the V's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I just got back from the Monday knitting group, so that's the second time I've been there, and those ladies are just so lovely. It was so fun. I just love chatting to them and knitting, and you know, we're like problem solving each other's projects. It's so fun. And one of them left me a present. I have no idea why. She wrote a little note, and it just says like, "Anne, enjoy your time in Ireland." She wrote me a little envelope. So sweet. And she gave me some yarn because I was telling her about my sweater project where I'm knitting a square from yarn I get in each place I go to. So I got some more Limerick yarn, and then she also gave me some like materials for different textile-y places around here, which is cool. And then I don't know why this is in there, but I just think it's so funny. It's a you know, just like a button-up shirt but it's got the Guinness logo on it. It has nothing to do with knitting, so I'm just assuming she's giving it to me because it's like very Irish. She was like, "Oh, this American is visiting, how fun." It's just, I'm trying to decide where I would wear it because, something's gonna be in my backpack and this thing is so fabulous, like it's got to, then I need to use it. And I have the Fulbright orientation on Friday. Today's Monday, so in like 5 days, 4 days, whatever. I was like, what if I wore these? Because you're supposed to dress up a little bit. And it's either this or the one dress I brought with me. It's kind of fun. So we'll see. I don't know. I don't know if this is like too silly. But it is button up. So like technically that does fulfill the requirements. So it's like at 10 p.m. or something. I don't know. I have to pack everything up tonight because the checkout time for this Airbnb is 9 a.m. Silly me was just assuming it was like 11 or 12, like everything else. But I checked when I was booking my ticket to Dublin because I was like, if it's 11, I'll leave at 11. If it's 12, I'll leave at 12. Since it's 9, I guess I'm leaving at 9. But this is going to take a minute because look at that. Literally, it keeps going. There's even stuff on the desk. There's stuff on the back of the door. Like, one of my toxic traits is that I expand to fill the space I've given. And because I actually have my own room, my stuff has exploded. It's not been this bad in any of the hostels, but here we are. So yeah, I'm gonna do that, and we're gonna condense it down to the two backpacks. Maybe a canvas bag full of food, because that's what I did last time. And I didn't plan for having to leave by breakfast time tomorrow. I was like, oh, I have lunch ready. Like I still have some pasta left that I was gonna have for lunch, and vegetables, and like, guess not. Tragically, this was the best I could do because I have to wait for the morning for packing some of my things, so like the skincare and the shower stuff and everything. So it's still a mess. And then this will either fit in the little blue backpack or will be in the canvas bag. Hopefully the blue backpack.